Sid and Friends in the morning.
77 WABC.
John Catsimatidis live in local broadcasting. We're going to be hearing from Sid, who's normally here in the 9 o'clock hour. Bert Flickinger, and we have a very special guest here, General Jack Keane.
General Jack Keane, well, Happy New Year. I hope we have a Happy New Year. Everybody in the country doesn't really realize what the heck is going on all over the world. And I figure we got a day and a half left for the old year, going into the new year. If you can give us your analysis of what's going on and how are we going to succeed?
Well, I think the most dramatic change geopolitically that has taken place in the world in the last few years certainly is the collaboration of China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea working together against U.S. interests and like-minded democracies to change the world order in a way that advantages them. And the degree that they've been able to succeed at that is really quite stunning. They've taken advantage in their minds of American weakness and an unwillingness, they believe, of the United States to confront them, because they see us as not having the political will to confront them. So, John, it's not isolated that Russia invades Ukraine, believing that they could get away with it. And it's not isolated that Iran operationalizes all of its proxies to once and for all, in their minds, drive the United States out of the region and destroy the state of Israel. And it's not isolated also that President Xi in the last 3 years has stepped up his aggression in the Indo-Pacific region and is threatening war. So as the President Trump assumes office, the world is a much more dangerous place than when he assumed office in 2016. And he knows that we're in a sort of pre-war era where the potential of major global war is on the horizon. He and his team understand that. And they know they've got their hands full in meeting these challenges going forward, John. And those are the major issues. The good news is, even while this president has not assumed office, many of our adversaries, given the fact he is president-elect, and given the fact that he has the history of his willingness to confront them by comparison to his predecessor, they are already having to adjust their goals. And you can see some of that happening on the world stage. But President Trump and his team will have to make it clear, and I'm confident they will, that the United States is not going to stand for these countries trampling over our vital interests in the world today and that of our allies. And I think that'll become quite clear beginning from the inauguration day going forward.
General, I don't think Putin wants real war with the United States. I think he'd rather be a member of the European community than friends with China. I don't know how you feel about it. But I don't think he intends any major wars. And I believe that him and President Trump will make a deal. China, I don't think they've never been involved in major wars. I don't know how you feel about them. Iran, I think Iran is just crazy. And Ronald Reagan had the same problem with Iran. And Biden, I don't know why he let Iran get away with so many things. Well, what say you?
Well, yeah. I disagree a little bit. First of all, Putin is already at war, and with his clear ambition to expand beyond Ukraine. And President Trump by now has had classified briefings on that, and he understands clearly the Putin he's dealing with now in 2024 is not the Putin he was dealing with when he finished his term in 2020. Now, will President Trump confront Putin? Will President Trump check his ambitions? I believe he will. When it comes to China, China doesn't want to fight a war, but China also wants to dominate and control the Indo-Pacific region without having to fire a shot. I mean, China's military outpaces the United States quite dramatically. And what they really want us to do is capitulate. In other words, they want to take ownership of Taiwan, dominate and control our allies in the region and break the American will to actually confront them. We don't want to go to war with China, but we want to have enough hard power there to discourage them from ever thinking of using it, much as we did quite successfully with the Soviet Union. I agree completely with about the Iranians. They are very ambitious. They've overreached. They had a tactical success on October the 7th, and certainly Israel's failure contributed to that in terms of their own intelligence and preparedness. But they've had strategic failure, John. Look at this. They lost their two major proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah. They lost their strategic platform that they fought so hard for 13 years to sustain, with the tens of thousands of Hezbollah ground force replacing the Syrian ground force, which was ineffective, persuading Russia to come in and replace the Syrian Air Force with Russian air power in 2015 because Syrian Air Force was ineffective. They did everything they could to sustain that regime, and they finally lost it. And they're sitting here now with no air defense systems to protect their capital, no air defense systems to protect their nuclear enterprise or their rocket and missile force. They are very, very vulnerable in a way they haven't been in 44 years. I think Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump will get together, and they will focus on an objective dealing with Iran that makes sense. Either force them through coercive diplomacy, threaten them to dismantle their nuclear
or Israel
dismantle it by force.
Or Israel will do their job
on the horizon to once and for all end Iran's ambitions in the Middle East.
Or Israel will do their job knowing that President Trump is going to back them up.
There is no doubt in my mind that the United States will back Israel full throttle in terms of its survival. They recognize, much as the Biden administration did not recognize, that this really is an existential threat that Israel is dealing with. And now I think they both see the opportunity that is available, the strategic opportunity to diminish Iran once and for all, make certain it doesn't get nuclear weapons, cut the deal with Saudi Arabia, and normalizing relations with Israel. The other Arab states will follow, and the Middle East will go through a fundamental sea change as a result of it, John.
General Keane, Happy New Year. Thank you for everything you've done for our country and continue to speak out for our country. And we'll catch up with you in the new year.
Yeah, all the best to you. Happy New Year, John, and to you and your audience. Thank you.
Thank you. And Curtis, we taking a break? What are we doing?
Yes, taking a break. Continue on. We're awaiting Sid Rosenberg in the 9 o'clock hour, who had...
Hang on for Sid. We'll find out how Florida is going.
And up next, Steve Moore. Going to find out about your moolah shmoolah.
From More Money, WABC, Saturday every afternoon at 2 o'clock, and make a lot of money with More Money on WABC.
Right here, your place to be. It's Katz, it's Curtis, and it's Bert Flickinger as we take you up with live and local programming to the 10 o'clock hour.